This monstrosity, an interactive truth or dare on a 40-inch touchscreen, running on a Raspberry Pi, built just in 4 days. Why all this effort? What makes it so special? And more important, what went wrong all the way? Oh, and no Denise today, but the real Dutch engineer behind the mask. Alright, let's do this. Almost everyone knows truth or dare, right? You're doing a bottle flip, and then you're going to say truth or dare, and the other one does it, right? Yes, sounds fun, but bringing an engineer into the mix, why not automate it in a way that it takes way more effort than it should be? Then you end up with this. Was all this effort needed? No, but makes it more fun for everyone and also to build? Yes. And besides, it's hard to integrate a paper book into my central arcade system. The one is running on all my arcade machines. And you think, yeah, enough blah blah blah. How do you play this game? Let me show it to you. This is a touchscreen. Then you can press here. Then you need to scan the QR code. I can join. The funny thing is that you can see you can then vote. And for example, truth. And also with some scary sound, which is a bit loud. Sorry for it, but it makes it a bit more scary. Ear rape. Then you can choose the category. And then it's going to say you will lose points if nobody votes. Yell to everyone to be ready. You have 2 minutes. And that's the point where you need to do the dare. By the way, you can also see here that you can scan the QR code for other people that they want to join. And then you get an alarm sound. And now you can see that you have the actual truth or dare. And here comes the interesting part. You see here you can vote with an heart, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, and a skull. And for example, if I'm now doing the skull because the one is doing this not correctly, then I can just say you get a skull and a very annoying sound. And then that specific person is probably, God damn it! And you can say, I'm done with this. And then you get the final score. And yeah, now everything is 0 because there's only 1 vote and there's also a negative vote. So you will end up with 0 points. Which, by the way, is because this game is costing 100 points to start. And you will never lose more than 100 points. I think that's fair. Do you agree that this is more fun? Or did I miss something? Let me know. But why did I design like this? You know the movie Nerve, right? Where people vote for the next dare. I thought, let's add that to the mix. From the demo you saw that you can vote for the truth or dare, right? I did it so that it will give the player the no moment because it's not 100% in control. Like in a movie. Alright, the truth or dare is chosen. But after choosing a category, why don't you start directly? Well, I made it so that people can literally pressure others to grab the phone and vote. Imagine like this. Grab your phone, I need points. You see? Because that's the only way to earn points. Oh, and the timeout timer, always at the bottom. That will add additional pressure to the mix. Do you agree? Speaking of pressure, remember that I was saying that it was running on a Pi, right? It's like running on a mini potato on a giant screen. But that also means that I was forced to use something else that was running on my other cabinets. Something that runs really well on the Pi without starting the third Pi bar with drivers. A browser, in particular, Chromium. So no custom game engine in Raylib and C#, but a C# web server and a browser in kiosk mode. But wait, kiosk? That also means it's a touchscreen? Yes, you probably can see that this thing is really touchy, in a good way. The 40-inch screen is just a very cheap smart TV made dumber. But how become a touchy? Well, if you look closely, there is a strange border around the TV. And that is an AliExpress border panel with a lot of infrared. You know what's funny? Because it's infrared, it reacts with everything. Look here. Pop! You can even do it with a beer bottle. Because we live in a world where there are more smartphones than people. And everyone understands touch, right? That way it's easy for the player to control the truth of dare. But yeah, you can have an iPad on steroids, but if it does nothing, then there is also no fun. So we're going to talk about the software, but before that, I got a really nice comment about the Haunted Machine. It's from Leo PD8WW. I'm on the leaderboard. Transition effects are nice, like a possessed machine. You can warp and distort the voice maybe. Skulls for the skull throne. Well, I took it literally because there is a skull. And the voice is more creepier. Then I found out that it was something amazing with this change. Normally distortion doesn't mean clear, right? Well, listen to this. Then you agree it's now way clearer? Let me know. Alright, enough about the Haunted Machine. It already get too much attention. Okay, let's do it there. Talk about the software without boring you. If I didn't bore you, then give the pinned comment below and thumbs up. Let's talk about software. Finally. But again, why this route? Well, I wanted to run my Snake and my Pac-Man on the Raspberry Pis as well. But then I was starting a full-blown war against the drivers. My games that are running on C# and Raylib, they were just running like a tank with only 2 horsepowers. Yes, it was that horrible. To prevent the game looking like something from the 1980s, I thought, let's do something different. Let's use a web technology, which is called Blazor. This way I can easily communicate between C# and the web browser, and it is as easy as picking up your phone and calling your friend. It's that easy. Did you ever seen a Blazor use case like this? Let me know. But now comes the beautiful part. Because the one serving the page is C#. And I can almost use 80% from the other games as well. So the integration with the central arcade system is just as easy as pie. Speaking of integration, you saw the voting part, right? Well, imagine that it's like a broadcast station. Sending out all the web apps that a new question is coming. And like in real life, you don't ask yourself an opinion, right? So we're going to ignore the players who ask. The others can vote. Each phone remembers who already voted, so you can only do it once. This is also fair, right? Alright, the software is done. Let's drink a beer and be happy, right? No beer yet. Because, like every developer says, it works on my machine. Allow me to explain. And why did I say it like that? Because the development was done on this not so touchy Mac. Allow me to explain later why I phrased it like this. A few days back I was done with the development and I thought, let's just deploy it on the Pi. First test. And the touch was horrible. But guess what? Because Apple have touch on almost all the devices except Mac, I can test this correctly. I've heard that the other tech channels are asking the same thing. Why no touch, Apple? But enough about the Apple. Let's talk about the Pi. You see what I did there? But how did we fix this? Luckily, when developing a web page, you can use special events to detect something is touching something. It sounds weird, I know, but hear me out. I made a change and suddenly the touch experience was amazing. I was happy, right? Was I happy? For a very short time. Because switching between pages, it sometimes jumped straight to the score. And how is that possible? Well, the touch was so amazing that it became overconfident, triggering buttons at the next page too. So we needed a middle ground. And I thought, let's solve it simple. Imagine a line of people. You keep yelling, 10 steps left! And once they done it, they ignore you for 1 second. Because if they didn't, they will keep walking. 100 steps later, and they are gone. And that's exactly what I added here. Now we have the best of both worlds. A touchy interface that doesn't do things twice. And now we end up with the machine that makes people do strange things. Stranger things? Nee. Speaking of... Oh, and before I forget, I created a special r/Denise Play Games subreddit where I explain in more detail the technical details about this project. We'll see you there. In the next, yes, final episode of the Halloween party preparation, because remember it is on the 25 October of 2025, I'm going to build Kill the Skulls on the final cabinet. And also a quick note, if I reach 100 subs, then I'm going to live stream Pong. Then I will thank you for your attention and I will see you the next time. Bye!